Dude, Cody, how are you, man?
Doing good. I'm
Look
doing
at
real
that
good.
professional setup you have there.
I love
I
how,
did
like,
Twitch during the pandemic.
you guys both have the full professional thing, and I'm, like, in the back of my car.
It all works. It all works.
Couldn't even sit in the front seat.
Technology,
He's
right?
been relegated to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
fucking
did Twitch
freezing
during the
too.
pandemic, so I had to like find a whole setup. It was a whole thing. So, but now it works for this too. So it's helping me in both ways now. Thank God.
You know what? You probably have more of a. I mean, you are OG YouTube. That's how this all started for you.
Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
were. So I don't think that the pandemic's the excuse there. I think you knew what you were doing ahead of time there.
Well, dude, you know what? It used to be. I used to be able to be lazy about it. It was because it was a
Uh,
built-in camera. The standard of quality back then was so much lower than it is now. Like the covers were hit record, play it, introduce it, say goodbye, and that was it. And now then like some people started coming out with covers that were a whole music video in a studio and they had a budget. And I'm like, how do I keep up with this? And that's kind of why I trailed off for a while.
just
And I was
started a
like,
band
it used to
instead.
be a 1 day thing, and now it's like a 4 week project. And I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you still sort of keep up with that, and that's how you wanna keep doing a lot of content is via YouTube and things like that, just for that sort of I guess it's like an added bonus that people are realizing they can give to people and receive now that they didn't used to have.
It's weird, man. It's I when we first started out, that's all I cared about. I just wanted to be out there and doing like personal vlogs and updating people about it and doing a lot of covers. And now I've kind of turned it from where it felt like a necessity into more of like if something comes along and I'm passionate about it, I'm gonna put time in to make a video and make a cover of it. Like for instance, like the last video I did was I did a cover of Stand Out from a Goofy movie, and I knew when I was making, I was like, this is for me. Like I think a general fan base is not going to care about this at all, but I want to do it. And so if people like it, cool. And if not, whatever, I had fun doing it. And so then with that, like, my fiance is in film and she loves to, she wants to direct and produce. And so we got to do it together, which was cool. So like I did the music side of things and then she helped me film it and then I did the editing. So it becomes a lot more just fun. So that's what I want it to be. I don't ever want it to feel like I'm doing a chore for anything ever. And it started to feel that way. And I think that's why I started to kind of back away from it for a bit, for like just mentally.
Yeah, for sure. In terms of the production side, you guys, as set it off, have had some pretty high production in your video clips. Does your fiance get involved in any of that too?
Well, so she was just starting out in the film industry when we did Lonely Dance, and she like offered to PA that music video, which was really cool. She's like, "Hey, just can I just be on set? I just want to be there and see what's going on and help out." And I was like, "Sure." And she's very down to business. So like when she wasn't there to be like, "Hey, babe," she was like, "Nope, got a job to do." Like, so
You're
really
off your
like that
marker.
about
Get
her.
the fuck back there.
Yeah, for real. If I tried to I think I tried to like bring her in for like a kiss, and she was like, "Can you stop? Like, not now." Which I admire. I admire. It was all about work, and
That's like
cool.
Johnny and I when we're on sets. He's always
Yeah,
trying to get us to switch.
I will often lean in for a kiss and always get rejected.
Yeah, it's like not at work, which I get.
Not even in private. He's just like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, and then before that, we did Killer in the Mirror, and she did photography for that, so she was,
Oh, cool.
she was just photos as well. But she's not really like hands on or like been a director for that because I do like to keep that separate. And she totally gets it. But yeah.
It's a cool dynamic to be able to share that. I guess pick and choose when you want to share it, like mix business and pleasure. Having someone that obviously gets you and is passionate about like seeing you succeed in something and get to have a hand in that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really special for me just to be able to share that moment with her.
Yeah, oh yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I very much could be here. Is this going to be your first tour of Australia?
Wait, so, say that again.
Is this your first time coming to Australia?
It's our second time.
It is your second time. Okay.
So the first time was 2019, I want to say, or 2020. I think it was like the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, which we all know where that led. But
it was a good time.
We did a tour with One OK Rock, and it was phenomenal. Fell in love with Australia. The fact that I love the fish shops. I need more of those out here. I didn't know that was a thing. I know that's probably nothing to you, but it was great for me.
What do you mean fish shops? As in like as in pets?
Well, maybe
like,
they're called something else. So, but like there's
Fish
like
and
places
chips.
like near a beach. Yeah, like fish and chips.
oh yeah, okay.
You just have like a cooler full of like fresh fish. You're like, I want that, and they're like, okay, and it's perfect every time, and it's just a vibe. I like it a lot.
That's beachside living for you, homie. That's beachside living.
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm super pale, so it makes no sense for me to like love beach culture so much, but it's
Whereabouts
nice.
are you in the States?
So I live in North Hollywood, California right now.
Oh, so you're not too far from the coast.
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
not at all.
10
And I
minutes.
actually, before I moved out here, I lived in like Clearwater, Florida, which is also by the beach, but I had to wear immense amounts of sunscreen. In fact, there was one time I was with my friend Jesse at his pool. It was like we were out there at 9 a.m. and it was overcast, so it didn't seem like it was bad. But I was out there in the pool from like 9 until like 2 p.m. And dude, second-degree burns on my shoulders. Like it is.
Oh,
Overcast
damn.
is where it gets you. Overcast is the silent killer because you think you're all right, and then like that evening you go to bed and you can't touch anything because you're a
Oh my
blistered
God.
tomato.
It was awful. So I had to learn a lesson the hard way that way. But yeah, I bring
Have
it
you
over.
have you ever looked into like what we call base tanning in Australia?
Oh, I get base burns. I have to base burn first. Because dude, it gets embarrassing straight up. Like if I wear like a sleeve, I went me and some friends played like pickup flag football, and I was wearing like a sleeveless shirt and overcast again. So maybe I didn't entirely learn my lesson. But I felt fine until I wasn't, and I swear I just had red arms and the whitest pale body you've ever seen, and it didn't go away all summer. So I couldn't like just
You just
walk
stuck with it.
around. I couldn't balance it, so I need my base burn first. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
after you
the
get
secret.
burnt, do you get it? Do you actually tan? Do you get a tan, or does it
I've-
just
so-
sort of?
You see
Does it
how I
just
look
go
like
red,
somewhat
blistered
red,
skin?
but I have some color in my face?
Okay.
This is kind of the extent of it. I can look like
good
I
look.
have a healthy redness to me.
It's glowing,
Well-
but just not in the way you want.
Yeah, yeah.
At least you're not coming in the hottest time of the year as well. So
Oh yeah. So when is the hottest for Australia?
February.
January. Yeah.
January. That's right, because it flips compared to us, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, you're coming in the depth of winter. Like literally
Oh.
the middle of winter. I'm pretty sure Sydney, you're playing almost the exact middle of the year. You're playing like July 14 or something, which is almost smack bang in the middle of winter.
I need to like bring a good coat then. Does it get pretty cold?
It's fucking freezing this morning. I'm out like a little bit west of
You're
Sydney
layered
today
up
for
right
work,
now.
and I've 2 hoodies, shirt underneath. It was 0 degrees. Like we couldn't even
Oh.
get 1 degree this morning. It was freezing.
Okay.
In Fahrenheit,
I'm
that's
very
like
glad we're having this
30.
conversation because I was not going to be prepared for this trip at all.
He's like board shorts and a wide brim hat and sunnies.
Yeah, what's
Let's
up?
go.
It's summer, right? Fuck.
but you wouldn't have got burnt, so that's the good thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Well, I was looking in, like I said, I was trying to find, being like, how have I never seen you guys before? And then the internet lied to me and said that you hadn't been. There's even like things being like, I've set it off, ever coming to Australia. So I just
Oh, that
assumed you
happens all the
hadn't
time.
been.
I swear, we'll get comments. We'll be like overseas playing a show in Germany, and we'll just finish the show, and the next day someone will be like, "Why don't you ever come to Germany?" I was like, "We were."
Das is here, y'all.
Yesterday. I don't know. Maybe we need to be better at promoting it, but
Hopefully we can help
just
with that
think-
a little bit.
oh, thank you.
There's also like so many tours going on a lot of the time. I feel like with the way like the algorithms work on social media and stuff, like it's happened to me before. A show's been up and I'm like, how have I never seen that in my feed? Like,
Yeah.
how did that completely pass me by?
I feel like it's that it used to be that everything you posted everyone saw, and then they changed that, and now it's like select things go to select people unless I'm sure you pay the premium one, or pay for ads, which of course it came to that. But I think that's what happens, and it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, it is.
I'm super surprised you guys were never on Soundwave Festival. I reckon you guys would have killed
Oh.
it on Soundwave.
Man, you know, there's 2 areas that were the hardest for us to get to, and one of them was Australia, and the other is South America, which we've yet to get to, which we have been working on constantly. And a lot of it just, if I'm being totally transparent, boils down to like finances, being able to afford getting over there,
Yeah, for sure.
and getting a support tour. We've never had a support tour or a festival offer, but we really want to do that. So hopefully we can make a relationship while we're over there and open that door, because like I said, freaking love Australia. We had a great time over there, and we'd love to come over as much as we can. So
It is a hard thing. Touring's gotten more expensive, like since pandemic as well. So like, if you weren't there before, it's even kind of hard to get your foot in the door there, just to kind of have those, unless you have that base relationship set.
yeah,
Do you find with your unique genre, because you're very like set off as a very hard band to pigeonhole in terms of your
Yeah.
sound,
that's fair.
is that something that you found with support acts being like, where do we fit in or what band? Like I referenced you guys on the channel so many more times that you wouldn't have seen before we featured you. Cause like we'd see like a Ice Nine Kills video and I'd be like to Johnny, this has like a Set It Off vibe. And it took us the longest time because like there's so many bands that I hear inspiration in you guys and vice versa. Is that something that plays in it when you're kind of finding bands to tour with?
So I'd say it was a negative thing for us when we first started because we were so polarizing all the time and we weren't really intending to be. So like to give you the full like breakdown. So like I've always like reflected the music that I listened to the most when we first started. I feel like that happens with any young writer. Like I was listening to mostly Fall Out Boy, Panic, and All Time Low. And in our first EPs, you can hear that immediately. And then we realized I had a really tough like conversation with this producer that I really respect, who's been killing it. But he was like, right now, it was like 2008, and that sound was like everywhere. And he's like, right now, you're a number in a fishbowl, and you're just hoping that a label goes, oh, I guess we'll pick up this version of that same thing that's going on right now. And I was like, damn, brutal honesty, but I need it. So I had to like take a step back and be like, okay, well, what can we do that's different, that I can believe in, and that makes sense? And like before Set It Off, I was going to be like in an orchestra. Like I was studying clarinet, and that's been a part of my life since I was in second grade. And I was like, why am I not involving any orchestral instruments? This makes zero sense. So we started the cinematic sound. And then at the time, my cam had just disbanded. And I was like, well, this seems like there's like now an open door for like a more minor key bass, neurotic sounding, angsty band. But then I can pair that with orchestral music. So like that was the first plan, right? And then but I've always grew up loving pop music. Like I listened to whatever my sister listened to, which was like Destiny's Child, Usher. I was a big boy band fan, like anything Max Martin, like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, and I think that becomes apparent in the melodies. And then that's where it kind of moved over to Duality. And then we went like almost too pop, you could say, for Upside Down. And then we were like, all right, let's reel it back in. Let's bring the Yanks back. Midnight. So it's always been like it's not too planned out, but it's just how we feel then. And the newer stuff was just kind of like, we did that song Barbie and Ken, and which was a lot of fun to put together. And I've never heard Set It Off or my voice, I guess, over lower tuned guitars in a way that I feel like would be believable to be us. Yeah. And I was like, I love this. Like this makes sense. Like what would it be like if we took everything we've made in the past, tuned it down a bit, re-injected the energy, and it just became about fun. Like I don't care about if this goes to radio. We're independent now. Like there's no. We just want to. What I say every time I'm in the studio now is I'm like, I just want to recapture that 19-year-old kid that just started writing, and I want to just have a good time. And when we did Punching Bag, I was writing with my friend John, who sings in Point North, and that's what it was. We were just having a blast, trying different things out. The original riff was basically very close to Another One Bites the Dust. In fact, that was the working title of the song. And then we just sped it up and doubled it, dot, 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 instead of the bop, bop, bop. But yeah, I'm rambling like crazy right now. But yeah, but basically.
Oh, I'm into a ramble. Go for it.
It used to be very difficult for us because they'd be like, well, we don't know who you are. You seem like this. But as time's gone on and it's almost become a strength of ours because we've dove into all these different sounds that now everyone's just kind of accepted us as the band that has like different, hats to wear. And so we can exist on a rock tour, a heavy rock tour, which even before we were heavy, we were doing tours with like Glassjaw and Chiodo. So we were so out of place, but it was great for us because we had a challenge to the crowd. Like that audience did not want to like us. So now live, we had to have the energy to come with the sound to make them want to be a part of what we're doing. So then that came in and paired with like the pop side of us. And like, it's literally everything that happened. It might've been a slow burn to get us to where we are now, but it was all completely necessary. And I think it's really set us up for success. And it's allowed us to be a band with variety. And I hate like redundancy. I would hate if we had to write the same album. I wouldn't enjoy it. So,
I think that those bands, like yourselves, pardon me, that have that eclectic niche sort of sound, it definitely does take a little bit longer to sort of get trajectory or really sort of get people involved because everyone's used to sort of staying in their comfort zone. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think that it's bands like you guys that have a better chance at longevity because there's never an expectation of what it's going to sound like. There's never an expectation of, where you're going to sit, and people are always expecting something different, something exciting. Well, not expecting, but they're okay with it, And like you mentioned Glassjaw, and I think that's why Glassjaw have only released a handful of albums and they've stayed the course, is because they were a New York hardcore band that sounded nothing like New York hardcore bands.
Yeah.
And, they just hit this market.
Oh, I might have messed up with that, by the way. I meant Glass Cloud. I apologize.
Quite different.
Quite different.
Glass Cloud are very heavy though, so I can see how that would be an odd fit.
Oh yeah. I made that mistake before too. I'm so sorry.
There was like Glass Cloud, Glassjaw. There was that Glass Eater band from probably 10 years ago.
A lot of glass.
A few glass bands.
Yeah. Glass.
But I appreciate you saying that, and I feel like it's been nice because it's allowed us to have our cake and eat it too. And yeah, there's been like a lot of times throughout this process because of how long it's taken. We're approaching in July, it's gonna be 15 years, which is mind blowing to me. But I've never felt like it's been 15 years. I've been having fun the entire time, whether it was us starting out when I put all my next year's college money into the van and trailer and we would go out and play to 0 people, which has happened multiple times, or to and then looking back to seeing where it's turned into. I have no regrets for any part of the path. It's been an amazing ride.
That's it. With the eclectic nature of your sound, and because each album has had a very different feel, it still has in essence you guys, but it does have a different sound. Do you find you have different fans? Your audience isn't always just that fan. There's
1,000%.
Yeah, cool.
It is a goal that I've had since it was incepted during the Duality eras. One thing I saw that was cool about Taylor Swift fans is that it's the most diverse fan base I've ever seen. All across the board, ages, you name it. And I was I want that. I don't want to feel like we have to cater to a specific type of person, or we can only, because you hear the craziest, and I understand it, but advice along the way. It's well, you need to make sure you're marketing to this age group and this gender. And it's that's fucking stupid, dude. I don't, if I think about that, then it becomes about that. And then it sounds like that. And I feel like people can smell that from a mile away when you're just trying to cultivate a world and it's such a forced manner. And you're not just worried about having fun, writing stuff that you genuinely mean and being honest from top to bottom. That just happens that way. The one thing I really, really love about our fan base is we have, we'll do a line of VIP, and there'll be somebody that is extremely young, somebody that brought their kid who is wearing a Set It Off shirt that knows our songs. And then there will be somebody in between their 50s and 60s that came alone that just wanted to watch our show.
It's going to be Johnny.
And I love that. And the thing I hate that they say is I'm probably the oldest person here. Don't think about it. Doesn't matter. Have fun. And I that's what I love is just
but not too much because you might injure yourself.
Yeah, but make sure you take it easy.
Look up your hips. Yeah.
Yeah, take your vitamins.
That's cool though. That's a thing I really like. That must be rewarding too, as well, knowing that being okay, cool. We've written something that spans genres and spans eras and age brackets to be able to be just fun, relevant stuff. That's one thing I think I said to Johnny when I'd first shown him was you guys are just fun. Fun is the way I that's the genre that you're playing in. It's
100%. Yeah.
I'm having fun, so I appreciate that.
So this is your first time to Australia. It's been 15 years. You guys have got 6, 7 albums now?
We're at 5 out now. We're on our way to our 6th.
That's right, and a couple of EPs as well. So
yeah.
Now, in terms of getting to Australia, you guys have kind of missed that build yourselves a fan base in Australia by the consistent touring every year or 2 years. Do you think though it's kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise where you're on a lineup that is going to do so well? I mean, You Me at 6 are just such an incredibly big band, and I don't know if you've checked out Between You and Me yet, but they're buddies of ours.
Oh yeah, they have this song called Antihero,
band,
which we would frequent on tour.
Yeah.
They're a great band. That singer is nuts. Yeah,
absolutely. So you're going to have a lot of people there, and you're sandwiched in between 2 quite loved bands here. Surely that's got to be a little bit of a weight off that there's going to be people there, and it's going to be your crowd essentially.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you're right. And I wish we had more of a chance to start it from the ground up. But we've been fortunate enough to have one support tour and now be able to do this one where that is your dream. And when you're in a band, like, you know, when we really didn't have it in the States, like I was saying before, like the best case scenario when starting out is some band wants to take you out and you can perform for their fans and hopefully they like you and they want to come back. And we didn't have that in the States until eventually people were like, oh, okay, fine, we'll give you a shot. But so that's kind of now happening over in Australia. And it's exactly what that's the most we could ever ask for. So like shout out to Yumi at 6 for taking a chance on us and bringing us out there since we're fresh out there. But it's an exciting opportunity to be able to play in front of those people and hopefully, because like we care so much about our live show. And like we always say we want people to go home and have like 2 stories to bring up about our set that they can go home and think, do you remember this part? And that's going to be our goal when we're over there. And they were bringing over the set we did for like festivals, which we're really, really proud of.
Cool.
So there's going to be a lot that's going to go on during the show that I'm excited for.
That's it. Yeah. You also have the benefit here of, as Joe said, playing with You Meet 6, who are a well-established big band. You guys are getting to play some pretty great rooms over here. It's not as though you're coming out and having to play the 300 cap tiny little bar.
Yeah.
You're getting to play some really cool venues that
I'm really pumped.
Yeah, they're going to be great shows. So it's a good chance for you to about truly give them the experience that maybe if you had to come over at year 2 or year 3, you wouldn't have had the experience of being able to, like, we know how to convert a crowd now. We've done this.
Yeah. It's nice to have the experience now and then go into it than to just start off raw, stumbling our way through it.
Yeah, fully.
Because the 2 stories probably wouldn't have been good.
Oh, no. And be like, hey, remember when we spent all that money and it was terrible and we were bad?
I remember that band. The lead singer kicked me.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, they came over. I'll never see them again.
Now, talk to us about, I want to go back to you starting on YouTube, because obviously the world of YouTube has changed so much.
Drastically.
And what we do, this started for us as COVID. We couldn't go to live shows. We started doing reactions and then turned it into just like kind of a show. How's that been for you, who's been consistently there the whole time? How have you adapted and kind of found yourself in that space? And how do you feel about it now versus then?
I guess to kind of go back to what we were saying earlier, before it felt like a venting tool in a way for me. Like I needed an outlet and I was stuck in college and I was pursuing something that I loved, but I wasn't in love with. Like for classical music, like I was there and like everyone's like, have you heard Mahler's Fifth? And I was like, no. Have you heard Sticks and Stones album by Newfound Glory? And they're like, no, we don't want to. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. So I needed a way. I tried to start set it off at that school and it was a disaster. They were not into it at all. Anyways, I needed that. I needed an outlet, someone to play and talk about like music that I loved with. And that was what YouTube was for me. And it really felt like an honest way to do it. You know, I would just do a cover, be like, hey, if you like this, come along. You know, I'm trying to do some music stuff. And if not, whatever. And then as people would come along, I would do like the update videos. And I wanted people to really feel like they were there for it all, to like kind of see what have we done? Where are we going? What's coming up? And then as time went on, I feel like it felt less personal to me. And I felt like I could be using my time more focused on like the music aspect of it and really diving into writing and that side of things. And I kind of fell off on the YouTube thing. I'm not even gonna lie, just to be totally transparent about it, because it felt like I wasn't doing it for the same reasons anymore. It felt like, okay, well, I got to do another cover, so I'll start doing this. And the moment I started feeling like that, I was like, maybe I need to start backing off and just focus on other forms of social media. Any of the ones that make me feel like I can still be 100% myself without pushing too hard. Yeah. And I feel like I struck a balance. And maybe I'm not like the most social media savvy person these days, but I can say that I'm happy and I do like that.
That's the main thing. That's something that I think a lot of people can't say that are on social media.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. Seeing like, we haven't spoken to many artists that are as focused on social media or have an understanding of it in the same way that you would. Like other bands, like, yeah, we do Instagram and someone in our team does it. We just do what we're told. And other people,
a lot of them seem like they do it because they have to, kind of thing, because it's a part of.
And it's really become that way for a lot of people. And I know, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I know how important TikToks are and how important Reels are. And I have found a lane that I enjoy of it. Like I love like performing is like, I think if I had to pick one thing, if it's writing or just singing or anything, it's performing as a whole that I love. So I loved the portion of like when I did do like the music video versions of covers, like doing that whole thing, like really getting into it. So like we found this app called CapCut where you can just upload the song and you just hit record on a phone and I can just do that. And it's like, it reminded me of those days where it's just one take and I'm performing to it and it's genuine. So like I can do that all day. I love that. But when it becomes like a whole thing and I have to do it all myself, I'm like, I can't do this.
How do you go with because that's one of the things as well, that where YouTube was, where it is now, and because of TikTok and Instagram, people critiquing and feeling like their voice is very important and they must tell you how much they hate you. How do you deal with that? Because that's something
that's a great question, man. And to be honest with you, this dates back to what we were saying as far as like thank God I had all the experience to them before we come over here. Thank God I grew up with absolute punk before TikTok and Instagram existed, because that website hated us and they would post us. They like the founder of the website found joy in posting our stuff just to shit all over us. And it hurt like hell because it felt like, to me, it was like a really respected site in the industry. I was like, okay, this is how everyone feels about us. This is not only fans, but this is industry people and this is their opinion of us.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me to get over that. But I basically it's exposure therapy. You have to it has to happen so much to where you're like, it really doesn't matter. Everyone's opinion about you online does not fucking matter at all. And that people, they treat it like customer service. And it makes me go back to when I worked at Zoomies on a seasonal job to make some money before we went out on the road. And a woman threw a belt at me because she didn't get what she wanted. And I feel like sometimes if I give the people that is so negative and mean in the comment section any sort of validity, I'm letting them throw that belt at me again. And I'm just going, I'm so sorry. Talk to me however you want, as if I'm not a person. And I'm over it. I'm completely over it. People can talk all they want. They can say hurtful things. I know who I am, and I'm really secure in myself, and I'm secure in this band and what we're doing. And that's kind of it. We're happier now because we don't let the noise get to us.
It's a really good thing to be able to get yourself to that point as well, because it's not easy. It's not easy to sort of, some people naturally have it, but it's not an easy thing to grow that thick skin throughout, things like social media, to be able to let that bounce off you. Because obviously especially when you're an artist and you want to see the feedback, and even for us, like we want to see the feedback and see like, oh, you guys are doing a really good job. So it's a hard thing to sort of learn the skills to be able to take that on and respect the positives, but then sort of go through the things that are negative. But you've got like constructive criticism, and then you've got just being a downright fucking asshole. And it's super hard to get there.
I wanted to clarify that as well. There are voices that are critiquing that are necessary to like listen to at the same time. Like it's just the people that go on there and they just want to make you feel bad about yourself, or they just say something that they know is going to hurt your feelings. I'm like, okay, I can ignore that. But I do appreciate like I've watched some reaction videos to our songs where they didn't feel it, and I still will like comment like, hey, sorry the song didn't hit for you. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll take that criticism seriously, because I want to find a lane where somebody who might not find that as like an attractive song to them, I can find a way to alter that next time to where maybe that person might come in and like it. One of the hardest things I've ever done was I would sit down and watch YouTube videos of album reviews that I knew were poor reviews. That was probably the hardest thing, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to, as much as it sucked. First of all, maybe it's exposure therapy again, but I wanted to find what other people didn't like about Set It Off. What was it that would hit people and go, not for me? And how do I maybe work on that for the next album? Because maybe, again, like I said, I want to be able to make this as inclusive as a group of listeners as we can.
Yeah.
And if I shut out people that don't like it and just totally ignore it, then how are we going to grow? So I think it's important to listen to that sometimes. If you find it constructive, if it's somebody, it's really easy to tell who has actual information when they're talking, or who has like an opinion that you can respect, and who is just spouting total bullshit. So I think you just got to make a personal decision of weeding out who you want to listen to, who you don't, what negative voices should cut through and which ones shouldn't.
Do you find that how do you teach an audience that? Because that's one of the things that we've found since doing this. Like reaction was something that I didn't know anything about when we started. Johnny's like, we should do this. This would be fun. And so we did.
It's fun to watch too, by the way. I love watching reaction videos.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, I shouldn't say that because I don't watch any reaction videos. I don't watch the thing that we do, but
That's fair.
I have fun
your own.
doing them. I have a lot of fun doing it because we get to watch music and talk about it. And if there wasn't a camera on, we'd probably still be doing it, just not quite as frequently. How do you like kind of educate people though of who to listen to? Because like there's a difference between entertainment. Like for me, I might cop heat for this, but whatever. I'm in my zone now. The reactors are just like, whoa, crazy, so loud. Like they're just like over the top reaction with no actual substance. They seem to perform really well. I fucking hate that because I'm like, you didn't give me anything. You just acted for a while.
It's like you see someone that's following a formula they think they're supposed to follow instead of genuinely reacting as who they are as a person.
Yeah.
I've seen that too. And you know what? I don't look at it and get necessarily, my read of it is this. They're doing their best with the information that they have, and no one has been able to tell them yet that maybe they should try to dial it back and be more themselves about it. Because the real thing is some people react to that emphaticness, and some might say it as like overacting in a way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel what people respond to the most is honesty. So as far as what your first question was, how do you teach people to tell the difference? I think if the wording is such where it just feels like someone is trying to hurt your feelings and it's not productive, that's a voice you shouldn't pay attention to. If it's somebody that's giving you honest, constructive criticism and there's like I don't like this because of this, then that's merited, I think. And that's okay. But if it's just like an attack, then no, that's not helpful at all.
Even going back to what you said first about, like you want to get those people to listen to you sort of thing and find out why it is they don't like you and sort of like, how can I make them like this sort of thing? There is also at some point you have to draw a line and say, well, this person just might not be into what we do. Yeah. So I can't, as an artist, I can't spend my time trying to cater to everyone because you can't make everyone happy.
That's my hardest thing is like, I mean, I said it in the song, like I'm a people pleaser. It's and that's kind of part of it, like I want everyone to like us. But you're right. There are times where I kind of will have to draw that mental line. I'm like, I know not everyone's going to love us. That is totally fine. And I think that's why we're having more success now is because it's just about having fun and not caring what anyone thinks. Yeah. Like, cool. I think that once we got to that point, it became that again. But I think there's like, because I have seen the videos and have thought about it, I think there are subconscious decisions that are made, but not at the sacrificing of like what I think would be great for us.
And your integrity and that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of having fun, Nath, should we ask him some fun questions?
Yeah, I love fun. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I was having fun with that too, man.
By the way, I'm so excited to have you come out here. It's only a few weeks away. Often we do like interviews with people coming out. It's like, see you in 6 months. We see you in a few weeks, and that's fucking exciting.
Dude, I'm gonna be refreshed. I've been on the road for 55 days, and now I'm going on a week-long cruise to celebrate my mom's birthday. And
Happy birthday, Mom!
I'm gonna intentionally not get the Wi-Fi package, so I don't have a phone. I'm gonna be a new person, and I'm really excited.
Tell your mom we say happy birthday.
I will. Thank you.
Nothing to keep you refreshed like a 26-hour flight to Australia.
I know.
No, he's in LA. It's only 14. He'll be fine.
Oh, that's better.
Oh, okay.
That's better.
You got it covered.
Easy.
I have a lot.
Oh, we froze.
We're frozen.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
I was saying I have a lot of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom to play, so that should pass the time. Yeah.
We sorted.
All right, Nath, kick off the fun. Give him a would you rather.
Okay. You went on Zelda, so I'm going to go straight for you. Would you rather be Gandalf or Dumbledore?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd rather be Dumbledore because I've been more invested in that series.
My man.
Yeah, I have to go Dumbledore. He's also a sweetheart.
Yeah, you're right. He's a sweetheart. He's not a grumpy old wizard.
Yeah.
Maybe, actually, that's why I like Gandalf.
Yeah, because you're a grumpy old wizard.
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
All right, so let's go a little bit more sort of down my lane. Would you rather be in the Marvel universe or the Star Wars universe, and who would you play?
Marvel, Thor.
Damn, that was quick.
Yeah, you had an answer.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see. This is a Spider-Man rug right here, and then I have. Oh, hold on. Wait, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm scared.
I love when people are.
I also have this on my wall.
Yes,
I'm a big Marvel fan.
I love
Big old
that.
Marvel fan.
So sick.
Yeah, me and my girl, we went to this Disney event called Oogie Boogie Bash last year,
Yeah,
and got like a Thor Ragnarok costume. She went as Loki, and I bought that there. They wouldn't let me walk around with it, which I understand. But
I would like to see a photo of you guys in cosplay, please.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
send me a reminder, and I'll send that over to you. I have like a few of them. But
Can I pitch an idea to you guys right now? I've said this a while back. So I went to like a Comic-Con type thing in Sydney years ago, and there was so many people dressed up in cosplay, and there was a heap of, this is going to be insensitive, but like fat Wolverines walking around. And I was like, I want to go to Comic-Con or something. I work in fitness. That's my like actual job.
Yeah.
And I want to dress as Wolverine, being all jacked in that, and then be like, I can teach you how to look good in your cosplay, and then get people to training.
And that's how you bring people into like the training program.
I reckon
The Wolverine program.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can
or-
The next program.
You got the right facial hair and everything. I could see you doing that.
I wouldn't even have to do that.
Apparently they're looking for a new one, so
Yeah,
now's a good time.
although I am short, maybe I could play Wolverine.
I mean, isn't Hugh Jackman Australian as well?
Yeah, but he's tall as fuck.
How
Yeah.
tall is he?
He's like 6'1" or something. Wolverine
Yeah,
was supposed to be like 5'8".
Was he really?
Yeah, Wolverine was short.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well,
Fake fan.
All right, back to a would you rather. Let's go music. Would you rather only play festivals or only play your own shows?
Oh, I'm gonna go with own shows because in the state we're at now with the big festival run, we had a lot of fans there, but they're not as loud as your own headline shows, and that's like the most gratifying feeling in the world is when I can hold the mic out and people scream the words back to us. Is just the greatest feeling ever. So I'm gonna have to go with that.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Johnny.
Okay.
Finish strong. Finish with the divisive one.
Oh, all right.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Next time you come out to Australia, all right,
Mhm.
you're coming out headlining bigger venues
right.
than you're playing this time around. 2-hour sets, all the hits. You've got to go on stage and put on either cold wet socks or cold wet underwear. What do you choose and why?
Oh, that's a good question. All right, let me think about this one. It's 2 hours long. Do they stay wet for
2 hour
2
set,
hours?
Yep.
No, they're not magical. You just like before you walk on stage, you're comfortable, you're dry.
Magical.
We're over the magic part. You're not a wizard anymore.
Um,
You just have to put on cold wet socks or cold wet underwear.
you know what?
go
I
on
think I'm
stage.
going underwear
My
because
man.
I feel like I had this bad experience. I went to a such a funny way to start that with this question. I went to a theme park and the day started with me getting my socks wet. And I don't know if you've ever had your feet wet for more than 2 hours, but
Yes, sir.
yeah, there's a term called trench rot that originated in World War I, where people literally their feet rotted away, and I don't like that's a fear of mine. It's an irrational fear, but I saw
Hella
how my feet
irrational,
looked.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not gonna happen. But I saw how my feet looked after that and how they felt. I'd rather deal with it here, and I feel like it would wake me up. I'd be like, "Whoa, let's go!" Like I think
Yeah.
that would go with that.
I think that your 2 hours is very different to a whole day at a theme park. I'm also Team
no,
Socks,
for
by the
sure.
way. So I'm just going to defend my honor here.
Every time.
Chafing of the crotch. How does no one think about the crotch
Chafing?
getting shaved? Yeah, if it's like
Why is
wet and uncomfortable.
Does the moisture make your underwear more sandpapery?
Maybe I have the wrong underwear.
You might
No,
need to get some nice Calvin Kleins, man.
I think Nathan,
Hey,
Nathan
I'm rocking
has
Calvin's right now,
bodybuilder thighs.
baby.
Yeah, okay,
Nathan
then you
has
got it. You're
bodybuilder
fine.
thighs. They rub.
Yeah, that
Right.
is it's
Now I
my
need to ask.
Size.
Can I ask? I want to ask a question now.
Yeah.
Have you tried both?
Yes, and I have said this as well. So I've just competed at an ultra marathon recently. I was
thought you were
running
going to say
for
you competed in a
7
competition that required you to do this.
I competed in a wet sock competition. No, I did an ultra marathon, and so I ran for 7.5 hours, and my
Wow.
socks and underwear were wet for both of those. And in the end, I am wearing like running tights because I couldn't handle the wet underwear thing. I needed something that was like comfortable and dry on my
Good Lord.
thighs. Wet socks I can deal with. Like it happens at 7 hours, and then I'll take them off. My feet look gross, but it's okay.
Yeah. I think I would have to be very selective if I were to choose the underwear, the type of underwear, and the length of the underwear.
Yeah.
I think that would be a big part of it too. I think I'm going to stick with it though.
That's okay. I mean, we're not as close friends as we were a minute ago, but that's okay. It's fine.
He's also backstage going to present you with a pair of cold wet underwear that you have to wear on stage.
You're like,
Yeah. Welcome to Australia.
Yeah. I might do it, man. I'll just look wildly uncomfortable on stage.
We'll take the play.
The other thing too is, what would suck is if you wear gray pants or any like light colored jeans, it would look like you pissed yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we're so excited to have you out. It's a few weeks away. We'll have some catch ups in Sydney when you're here. We're looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a blast. Can't wait to see y'all.
Legend.
Thanks
All
so
right,
much
man.
for
We'll see you real soon.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Cody.
Have a good one.